Good afternoon. My name is Ruben Castillo Lopez, and I'm going to present my final project in the subject of cultural manifestations. Uh, this is my introduction. This project of the subject of cultural manifestations is designed to collect information and evidence about the culture of native Englishmen named Dennis. The information that will be collected is mainly personal, cultural, and language. For this, we have designed 7 questions that will be complete with the answers obtained from the native person. The importance of this project for me as a language student is that through this information collect, can we know a little bit more about the English culture from the perspective of a native person, as well the common life of a native as perceive their own traditions, culture, and most importantly their language, which is why this project is of the most importance to us as students of this language, which is why I believe that getting into the culture of a country is one of the most important for those who are studying English or another language. A new language helps to understand other people and see the world with different eyes. All human beings are shaped by the culture which they live and behave accordingly. Possibly examine your behavior and comparing it with others may make you wonder if the thinking and actions in your home country are really the best. So you will become more tolerant and open towards others. Main parts that will be discussed through this paper. English culture is characterized by the cultural norms of idiosyncrasies of England and the English people. Because of English influence position in the United Kingdom, it can be sometimes be difficult to differentiate English culture from the other of the United Kingdom as a whole. However, since Anglo-Saxon times, England, unlike Welsh or Scottish culture, has had its own distinctive culture. The English language comes from the West Germanic language, the modern language developed from Middle English. The way of expressing the language by the people, uh, by English people between the 12th and 15th centuries, Middle English was influenced by Norman, Old French, and Latin. In the Middle English period, Latin was the language of administration and the nobility spoke Norman French. Middle English was derived from the Old English of the Anglo-Saxon period. In the north and east of England, the language of Danish leaders influenced the language, a fact still evident in the dialects of northern England. The Elizabeth era is considered the golden age of English literature, with a great literary output in the English language and the flourish of Elizabeth poetry and drama. The playwright, poet, and actor William Shakespeare is considered the English national poet and the most important writer in the English language. Important writers of the period include John Milton, Daniel Defoe, Francis Bacon, John Webster, and Christopher Marlowe, among many others. There is an important period of literary production known as English Restoration literature that takes place between. What I did to contact a foreign His family was a neighbor of mine, and I found him through the Instagram app when he was in Mexico for a while, and we became friends. I asked him for help when he was in UK, and he agreed, and I'm so very thankful with him because thanks to that I could do my project. The description of my participant, he's a 20 years old guy who is from the English capital, who lived for a while in Mexico. He's a student of civil engineering at the university in the Metropolitan University of London. He's currently in his fifth semester. His name is Denis. He's a tall guy, white skin, very nice, and quite nice. Of Mexican parents, he born there. His culture has been instilled by his parents. Little family he has there. I met him through the Instagram application 2 years ago, and we are still friends now. And this is my questions. Um, the first question, uh, uh, I ask, I'm gonna show you my questions. And I'm gonna give you the explanations of the answers and the explanation of the questions. The first question I asked was because sometimes I think it is difficult to adapt two cultures, being your family Mexican and your family British, having lived in Mexico for a while, and I think it can be confusing to identify yourself. The second question was arriving back to the place of residence after adapting to a new culture can be difficult because we have to we may become confused for that. And the third question it was that I am intrigued as to how he considers himself in terms of cultural issues. The fourth question was I was very interested in how different is life in Mexico and the UK from his perspective, having been to both places. And the fifth question, I wanted to ask him if his attitude or behavior changed depending on the place where he is, as I feel that this is something that all people go through. And the sixth question, I was interested in how he would have been if he had never been in the country where his family is from without living the experience himself, if he will have the same perspective or change living a season in Mexico. The seventh question was I was interested to know if the two lifestyles were different or almost the same. This due to the economic position of his family, but it seems that it had a negative and positive impact to have like both experience. In my opinion, it was very good for him. And finally, my conclusion and final reflection. In conclusion, I will say that for this boy, it was enriching to have lived in both countries, to have know both cultures and traditions of both countries, made him see that there was nothing wrong with being that his horizons are open, and that thanks to this, he could expand his knowledge and learn a new language visit for him was one of the great experiences of his life. He will repeat the experience and feels proud of both cultures. He's a very open-minded person. And as a final reflection for me, it's important to know both cultures and traditions. I would like to live the experience someday and be able to see for myself both contrasts. I found the way Dennis expresses himself to me magnificent, and I learned a lot with his information, and I thank him for helping me. I think it was very rewarding this project because thanks to this culture, he's shared even at distance, and having the point of view of someone like him was a great experience for me, and I think we all should live it someday. And that was my final project for this subject, and thank you for your attention.